Turning, looking,
It's Game 2 of the Subway Series, and the Yankees are looking to avoid a sweep. The Yankees are sending Domingo Germán to the mound for his second start of the season, but he's got a tough customer opposing him, Max Scherzer. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. Subway Series edition of Yankees Game Night.
It's just a reaction.
Goodness gracious! This is Yankees Game
Wandy gave up the walk-off single on his birthday. It is not what you want. So we knew that tonight was going to be a challenge. The pitching matchup clearly favored the Mets. And it was no surprise that Max Scherzer showed up and pitched the way he did. I mean, he was absolutely dominant. He's a big game pitcher. This was a big game. It was entirely predictable. But the best way to keep your team in the game when a starting pitcher is as dominant as Scherzer was is to put up zeros yourself, or at least pitch well and keep your team in the game and get to the bullpen. That plan actually worked out for the Yankees tonight. The combination of Domingo Germán and Lucas Litke kept the Yankees in the game, but ultimately, one or two pitchers short, and you're seeing the effect of that. Tonight, also maybe one or two bats short. So Scherzer didn't need to work very hard in the first inning, just 6 pitches to set down the Yankees. That kind of set the tone for him. The Yankees would threaten a couple of times, but Scherzer showed that ability to dial it up and make a big pitch, big fastball, big slider, big changeup, in a big spot. Domingo Germán was pretty sharp out of the gate. He had 2 strikeouts in the first inning, but Pete Alonso got him in the second with a solo home run, and then Francisco Lindor got to him in the third with an RBI single. By the way, Matt Carpenter's arm from right field is non-existent. I mean, that was one of the worst throws I've ever seen. Yankees actually threatened again in the 5th inning. DJ LeMahieu came up as the tying run, but he smoked one 108 miles an hour right at Francisco Lindor. Hey, look, you can only hit him. You can't aim him. That's what Wade Boggs used to say. Although Wade Boggs was probably pretty good at aiming the ball. Domingo Germán was done after 4 2/3. He gave up 2 runs. He struck out 7. I thought his stuff looked pretty good tonight. He was crisp. I thought his mechanics were smooth. He didn't look like he was stressing out his shoulder too much. He's had shoulder problems in the past. He looked nice and fluid. But, just a couple of bad pitches, couple of pitches over the heart of the plate, and the Mets burned him. Yankees threatened again in the 6th. Rizzo got hit by a pitch, and Carpenter singled down the right field line. Josh Donaldson came up with a chance to put the Yankees on the board, but he tried to pull an outside pitch again and grounded back to the pitcher. That's what happens when you try and pull an outside pitch. Anybody who's played baseball will tell you that if you try and pull an outside pitch, you're either going to hit a weak ground ball back to the pitcher or to the pull side, but you're not going to drive it anywhere. And that's what he's been doing too much of lately, pulling off the ball. Yankees threatened again in the 7th. IKF doubled, 14-game hitting streak for him. And then Aaron Judge came up as the go-ahead run, but he struck out for the 3rd time of the night versus Scherzer. I didn't think Scherzer would handle Aaron Judge as well as he did. I've got to be honest. Struck him out 3 times, and Judge has not looked that overmatched all season. That was the worst we've seen Aaron Judge. He was 0 for 5. Tom's ASQ says, still in first place, going through a rough patch, yet panic sets in. Unnecessary. Well, probably unnecessary, but I do think we need to make some adjustments here. We'll get to that. Top 8, Scherzer was finally out of the game, and Gleyber Torres wasted no time getting the Yankees on the board. Opposite field, 2-run shot, 16th home run of the season. Torres also made an outstanding defensive play to save a run in the bottom of the 8th. Bottom 9, Wandy Peralta in the game, Gave up a leadoff double. And then Starling Marte with the walk-off single. Yankees a couple pitchers short, and that's how the cookie crumbles. Lori C says, Judge with the bad game. It happens. Yeah, I mean, look, Max Scherzer gives a lot of hitters bad games, right? I mean, the guy doesn't make $40-something million a season for no reason. He's legitimate. He just keeps getting better with age. Can't stay healthy as much as he used to, but he's just, look, I contend not getting Scherzer 10 years ago was a big mistake. They had an opportunity. They didn't do it. Long Hard Shepherd says 2-5 since the All-Star break. Yikes.
Oh, yes. I hate this. It is revolting.
Alex Valerio says Booze might be getting a Judge. I don't think so. I think that's that just comes with being a Yankee. Derek Jeter used to say he loved being booed in other ballparks because it meant you're good. I think that Judge just kind of lets all that bounce off of him. Will Nomura says, I don't mind the L, better player at the deadline. I mind the L. I mind 2 L's in a row to the Mets. It is not what you want. Timothy Kim says, tough loss, although it wasn't against Scherzer. Yesterday's loss felt a lot worse. Having Mike King out really hurts. Yeah, Mike King, you're seeing right now, you had to force Clay Holmes up an inning because you didn't have Mike King available. And obviously you don't trust Chapman there. In April, we probably would have seen Chapman in the 9th inning. Last year, we definitely would have seen Chapman in the 9th inning. But that just shows you that the Yankees don't trust Chapman right now, even though he pitched pretty well last night. Brett Deutsch says, if Escobar hitting righty was enough to take Monty out last night, why is Boone bringing in Wandy to let him hit righty to lead off the 9th? Interesting comment. I think the reason is because Wandy is effective to righties because of the changeup. And, the changeup kind of breaks down and away from the right-hander's swing. So it actually, in theory, could be a good matchup on paper, but it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. Colin Raymond says relief pitching needed ASAP.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the box score tonight. Leroy says, how do you blame a 3-2 loss on pitchers? Definitely wasn't the pitchers tonight that killed you. It was the offense. Once again, 7 hits, but not a lot of hitting with runners on base. 10 strikeouts tonight. DJ picked up a couple of hits. He also hit one hard that was caught. I mean, he's just scalding the ball lately. DJ LeMahieu is back. So that's one thing we don't have to worry about. Aaron Judge, really bad night. Worst night probably of the year. 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. 5 left on base. Left a small village on base. Rizzo 0 for 2 tonight. Aaron Judge says, Wandy got to go. He's so bad. Appreciate that. Torres 1 for 4 with the 2-run shot. Matt Carpenter continues to slow down, but he did get a base hit to right field. Kind of got jammed a little bit. Looked like he hit it off the trademark, but he placed it well. I mean, he's a dead pull hitter, At some point, they're just going to start throwing him changeups away and just hope that he doesn't pull them. Or actually, they kind of probably would want him to pull him. They want him to roll over him. He'd probably have to, be on the lookout for that pitch. Aaron Hicks, 1 for 4. Donaldson, 1 for 4. Kiner Falefa, 1 for 4 with the double, hitting .275, 14-game hit streak. Higashioka, 0 for 2. Trevino, 0 for 1. Team left on base, 9. Team runners in scoring position, 0 for 7. That is terrible.
That is one big pile of shit.
Herman goes 4 2/3 with the 2 earned runs. Litke had a really nice performance tonight. 2 scoreless innings. Loizaga worked a third of an inning. 2 scoreless outings in a row for him. Holmes with a scoreless outing. Look at that ERA down to 1.23. But Peralta on the birthday gets the L. All right, let's get back to your comments here. Ben Green says Abreu should have been the move instead of Peralta. I could go with Abreu there, but he got hit last night. I believe he gave up 2 or 3 runs last night. Nero says Astros pitching shut down the Yankees overall. Can this team hit good pitching staffs? They're going to have to prove it. They're going to have to prove it. Appreciate that. So, hey, look. There's nights like this. There's series like this. But the Yankees have got to right this ship. Right now, you're beginning the backslide. You're beginning to look a lot more like the 2021 season. Now, I don't want to be too hard on them because Max Scherzer's a great pitcher. And Max Scherzer could have done this to any good team tonight. He's just that kind of pitcher. But guess what? When you get to the playoffs, you're going to see guys like Max Scherzer. You're going to see Verlander. You're going to see McClanahan for the Rays, possibly. Or Alek Manoah for the Blue Jays. You're going to see really good pitchers in the playoffs. And this team has got to figure out a way to manufacture runs. They've got to figure out a way to strike out less. And they've got to figure out a way to pitch with great pitchers with a watered-down bullpen. I thought the job by Litke was huge. If the Yankees had won, he would have been seriously considered for the belt because he kept them in the game. Kermit Frog says, you nerds actually pay for this. And goodbye, Kermit Frog. You are banned. All right. Stone Cold says, 0 for 12 at one point with runners in scoring position. That will kill us in the playoffs. 100% agree. And Pogcow says, why take out Clay Holmes? Well, you don't want to stretch him out too much. After all, this is July. You don't need him working multiple innings. But, again, you're trying to stop kind of a rough patch here after the All-Star break. Raleigh says, welcome back to the 2019 Yankees. Well, that team was pretty good. This is more like the 2021 team this last month or so. The Yankees, I believe, are about 500 in July. So, hey, tough. Parkson says the Yankees can't hit with runners in scoring position. You know, sometimes they do. They've had a lot. I mean, look, they, I believe, are leading the league in runs. You don't do that by not hitting with runners in scoring position. Although, a lot of that came earlier in the year. Lately, it's been a different story. Ashland says these last few games have been heartbreaking.
I hardly agree.
Been tough to watch. Wheel says the Yankees need to be more versatile in their hitting. Small ball when needed. Too many men left on base.
Absolutely. Hey.
Baba Ganoush says, Judge scares me against ace pitchers. He can take anybody else. Ace pitchers shut down everybody, even good hitters. I mean, you know, he took Verlander deep in the playoffs. He took Scherzer deep a couple of years ago in the All-Star game. Now, granted, that was a meatball right down the middle. He wasn't throwing that nasty slider, believe me. But I'm not worried about Judge. Judge is the least of my concerns. Jan LeBron says, playoff preview unless we make big moves. Thank you to all the nerds who are making donations. I very much appreciate you, and I will ban anyone who disrespects you. AK12 dropping the stat of the night says, on the season, Judge has 38 home runs, and Gallo has 37 hits. Oh, my goodness. That's nuts. That's almost impossible to believe. I mentioned it in my pregame today. The stat about Gallo that really gets me is over his entire career, he's got 2 sacrifice flies. How many times, for a guy who tries to launch the ball in the air, has he come up with a man on third base? Has to be hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. And to get 2 sacrifice flies, now I'm sure he's hit some home runs in those situations. But just hitting a fly ball to the outfield to get the run in, twice in his whole career. Are you kidding me? Roman Empire says, you heard what happened with Trout. So sad. Yeah, I agree on that one.
I hardly agree.
In case you haven't heard about this, Mike Trout has a rare back condition, and he's going to see a spinal surgeon. Now, this is not good. I mean, one of the premier players in the game, if not the premier player in the game. And it's tough to watch this guy constantly be injured. And you know, I've seen some good players have their career shortened by back injuries. Don Mattingly. I believe Albert Bell had a hip injury that shortened his career. So, you know, it's tough. I also heard something interesting tonight. This is a little off topic, but it got my attention. So for a while, I'm all into cryptids and stuff. For a while, we were getting reports about UFOs and all this stuff and the whole government and NASA, and it turns out UFOs are kind of real. And then today they found a fossil of a plesiosaur in the Loch Ness, which means the Loch Ness Monster might be real. What's next? Santa Claus? Joey Gallo getting a single? Or a sack fly? Come on. Wheel says, at least the Astros lost to the Angels. And yeah, I mean, that's good. You maintain home field advantage for now, but let's focus on this one. This was a tough night for the Yanks. Leroy says, we just traded for Benny. Is that true? Is that true? Benintendi is a Yankee, according to the Yes Network. We have got some breaking news! Benintendi! We got better. All right, let's get your reactions, folks. I'm going to sign off here in just a second. We're going to be back with a reaction video on Andrew Benintendi. I guess it was just enough of watching this offense struggle that Cashman decided to pull the trigger. Any word on who the Yankees traded for Andrew Benintendi? This is huge news. Huge news. Let's get your comments here. Ronaldo, we got Benny. All right, let's get another round of applause for Andrew Benintendi. Jeremy Dio says, UFOs ain't real, bro. Chill. You don't know that. You really don't know that. You have exactly as much information as the rest of us. Jack Curry officially reporting that the Yankees got Andrew Benintendi. Let's pull up the old Twitter. Let's pull up Twitter and find out what Jack Curry is saying. He just says that the Yankees got Benintendi, and he doesn't say who they traded for him. Hopefully he's willing to get the jab so that he can play in Toronto. Now, the thing about Benintendi is he is a contact guy. He's a guy that is going to slash the ball all over the field. He's going to use left field. Let's pull him up on Baseball Savant real quick. And go to the videotape if we can. Andrew Benintendi, still listed as a Royal for now. Now, look at that spray chart. Base hits all over the ballpark. Really good K rate. Really good expected batting average. The traditional stats align. He's hitting .320 on the year with 3 home runs. Talked about this with Andrew Rotondi on my pregame show. This probably rules the Yankees out from getting Soto. So, pretty cool. Defensively, looks like he's got outstanding range, 43rd percentile in outs above average, 32nd percentile in outfielder jump. But the ability to make contact is something the Yankees sorely need. He's got a little bit of power. I think, he doesn't hit a lot of balls out here to right field. Like when he hits it to right field, he really gets it, but he hits it to right center. Only one ball down the line. That was a triple. That would be a home run at Yankee Stadium. He hit one out here to left field. That was a triple. That would probably be caught at Yankee Stadium. He's gone down the left field line a couple of times for doubles, so he'll slash the ball the other way. Won't surprise me if he sneaks one inside that 318 marker down the left field line. Now, at Yankee Stadium, it's shorter than what they're showing here. This is 330, so this is probably just a generic ballpark, or maybe it's Kauffman, but that would be probably a home run at Yankee Stadium. So, all right, guys, I'm going to make a video about Andrew Benintendi and just kind of break all this down once we get some information on who they traded for him. Yankees drop a close one, but stay tuned. I'll be back in just a little while.